Today we're going to start Unit 3, which is going to be all about rates. Rates are very similar to ratios, and we can use a lot of the strategies from Unit 2 in Unit 3. Today's goals are to be able to use a very special kind of rate called a unit rate, which is how much for one, to solve different types of problems. A window washing crew can finish 15 windows in 18 minutes. If this crew is assigned to wash all 24,348 windows on the outside of the Burj Khalifa, how long will it take them? I'm going to write my rate as a fraction for this problem, and when I write it, I'm going to make sure to include the labels. So the rate that we are given is 15 windows in 18 minutes, which I will abbreviate to just min. And what we're trying to find out is the number of minutes it's going to take to do 24,348 windows. If this was very similar to a ratio problem, we would be trying to figure out what we multiplied 15 by to get to 24,348. That will be very difficult, and so we are going to first calculate a unit rate. A unit rate tells us how much for just one. Once we identify how much for one, then it becomes much easier to figure out such a large number, 24,348. So if I want to have one window and I am starting with 15, I am going to divide by 15. Just like our ratio, whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. For this division, I'm going to use my calculator. 18 divided by 15, and that tells me to do one window will take 1.2 minutes. Using this unit rate now, it is very easy to figure out how long it takes to wash 24,348 windows. If we take 1, we can multiply 1 by anything to get itself. So we're multiplying by 24,348. And again, if we're multiplying the first number, we're going to do the same thing here on the bottom. So we have 1.2 times 24,348, and we find our answer to this question is 29,217.6. Let's see another similar question. In 2011, a professional climber scaled the outside of the Burj Khalifa, making it all the way 828 meters in 6 hours. Assuming that they are climbing at the same rate the whole way, we're going to figure out how far they climbed in 2 hours, and then in part 2, how long they climbed in 5. The first one, again, I'm going to take the information from the problem and make sure I identify a label, so M for meters, and 6 hours. Setting this up just like we had with a ratio, we can see we can solve this one without finding a unit rate, because 6 divided by 3 will give me 2, and so I can divide 828 by 3 as well. On a calculator, and I find it takes a total distance of 276 meters. I'm going to use the same process for part 2. 828 meters in 6 hours Make sure I have a label, meters and hours. And for this one, I'm going to leave a space, and I want it to have 5 hours. For this one, it is not easy to come up with a way to go from 6 to 5. Remember, we can only multiply or divide. So for this one, I am going to include that step where I'm finding a unit rate, and that's going to tell me how much I can go in 1 hour. And if I divide 6 hours by 6, that will give me 1 hour, which means I am going to divide 828 by 6 as well. And so in 1 hour, we are going 138 meters. Now that I know the unit rate, how much for 1, again, going from 1 to any other number, you're just multiplying by itself. So 1 times 5 will give me 5 hours. And so to get my final answer, 138 times 5 is 690 meters.